What's up, everybody? We are back in the mix. Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the 10-7 MMA show. We got a lot of great stuff to cover. Holy smokes, what a time it is right now to be a UFC fan, in my opinion. Actually, a fan of mixed martial arts, not just the UFC. We are in such a golden era. And I'm going to acknowledge it, and I'm going to talk about it because I feel like there's a little still too much negativity in the world of MMA YouTube. So I'm going to talk about the positivity because there's so many great things to be excited about. As I mentioned on Monday when I was glowing with excitement, I'm so thrilled for Alex Pereira. He posted a video earlier this week of him going back to the tire shop, working with kids, celebrating his victory. Just what a terrific role model. I love how he goes back to his roots, how he talks about his beginnings and the things that motivate him, because hearing these stories, hearing the trials and tribulations, as I've mentioned many times before, it gives us regular folks motivation in terms of how to live our best lives and be the best we can be by watching and modeling these fighters going through extreme adversity, pressure, peril, all of these things in a very short period of time, which almost all of the fights and the lead up to the fights are all little analogies of an entire lifespan, if you will, right? Where you're facing these very, very crazy, dangerous, high pressure situations. And we can look at that arc of emotion from the training to the practice to the sparring to dealing with injuries, coming back, fighting through, going in, psyching yourself up and taking on that challenge and then coming out victorious and then reflecting and all these things. Those are many examples of an entire life in a lot of ways, or multiple challenges that we might face throughout the course of our lives. So just so inspiring to have somebody on top like Alex Pereira. And how amazing is it that this guy is this popular, has captured the hearts and minds of this many people globally, and he doesn't even speak English, which is essentially the universal connector for all folks on this planet is the English language. So how amazing is that he's so beloved in the world of mixed martial arts when most people can't even understand what he's saying when he talks without a translator. So I just think that's amazing. On top of that, the other things, Justin, what's up? I'm just talking about how we're in a golden era of MMA, in my opinion, right now. On top of that, look at all these fights we have lined up in the UFC. On top of that, BKFC is on fire. Mike Perry just smashed Jeremy Stevens, and he's on top. I'm sure he's about to get a really amazing fight soon. On top of that, we got things happening in the zone with Darren Till, which is very exciting. Dylan Dennis, who I know you're not a big fan of, Justin did an interview with Mighty Mouse yesterday saying he's going to fight somebody soon. And I think I have an idea in who he's going to fight. We're going to talk about that if we have time, but I'm going to make a separate video about that later today. Maybe you and I can throw out some ideas back and forth. I want to get your feedback. But anyways, Justin, welcome to the show. And you said you were just finishing a video. What was the video you were working on?
Hey, so something I was working on the Gamrot, Charles Olivera. It's not a breakdown, but something that really stuck out to me is I was doing, because I know you guys know I'm going to do a breakdown of this. I'm not sure. I'll probably do it the week of the fight, but I like to do my homework.
It's tomorrow.
Oh shit.
Gamrot.
Today's the 10th? Oh my gosh, dude.
If you could get it's all good. Don't worry about it. But if you could get it out today, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
I think I can, because like I said, I was doing my homework on Gamrot, and something that really stuck out to me about Gamrot that you just don't hear a lot of fighters doing. Everyone talks about the sacrifices they make in camp, but Gamrot actually moves in to the gym and does his whole camp and lives in the gym. And I mean, he talks to his family on the phone and stuff. But when I heard this, I had to dig a little bit I had to dig a little deeper to see like how authentic this was. And I just made a video about it. I got him doing an interview, giving a rundown of his room, of his situation, of the things he does to entertain himself. This guy doesn't have a TV. This guy doesn't play video games. This guy is at full sacrifice of what he's doing to accomplish the things that's ahead of him. And when you have someone like Charles Olivera, who's 2-3 out of his last 5, you got someone like Gamrot, who's bound and determined to win. It's going to be really hard to root against him. Now, I think sometimes, obviously, sacrifice is great, but sometimes too much sacrifice can put you in mental lapses and can put you in dark spots. So my question to the viewers that are going to watch this video and the viewers that are on the stream right now is this a good thing for him to do getting ready for this fight? You know, and you got there's exceptions like Muhammad Ali, who used to rent a cabin out up in the mountains, allegedly. I don't know how true it was. We don't have videos of it, of course, but he talked about how he'd go seclude himself away from his family, away from everything, away from the public to focus for fights. And obviously it worked for him, arguably the greatest boxer of all time. Now, again, personally, I don't think I would thrive in that kind of situation. I need my family. I need my support system. And I need entertainment through and through. And some people it works for. And, I'm really curious to see. And like I said, my question to the viewers of the video, I can't believe today's the 10th, man. I'm a week behind on everything. But regardless, my question is to the viewers, is this going to be a good thing for him, or is it not going to be a good thing for him? And time will tell.
So I'm going to chime in actually on that front. I know we got some comments here. I know Western's asking about Dana White Contender Series. I haven't watched it yet. I still need to watch it because I think I know why you're saying that, because Habib's cousin or something like that was on it, and he's some incredible kickboxer, and I heard he got a contract. So I'm going to watch it later, but I have not watched it yet. Matthew says, I feel Charles will get KO'd. What do y'all think? Well, let's talk about it actually right now with respect to what Justin is bringing up, and let's get to that first title up here because we're talking about Olivera versus Gamrot right in the mix. Now, I do think you're right. I think it depends on the person. For you, maybe that might be too intense, but I can totally relate to doing something like this because I did something like this when I was in law school. I actually got at my place, I didn't get Wi-Fi and I had no TV. So I was literally living in an apartment which had no connectivity. I couldn't even complete my assignments in my apartment. I had to go to school to do anything, to check my email, to start working on assignments. So that forced me every day when I got up, I just went straight to school and went straight to the library, got situated, set up, and then started reading. And so that really, really worked for me. I've also done it at other periods of my life to some extent where when I was working on my business back in 2015, I shut down everything in my life, or 2016 maybe it was. I shut down everything in my life, meaning all my partying, all my traveling, all the stuff that I would do on the weekends. I cut it all out and immediately shut it down, and it worked wonders for me. So my assumption is that with the right personality, this is such an amazing sign. And I have to believe that this probably does work for him, because otherwise I don't think he would do it. My guess is he probably does something like this relatively frequently. And man, I can speak to, it's just so powerful when you shut out all the noise and you focus super intensely on something. It's like before, maybe you were getting 1, 2, 3 ideas about this one thing before. Now you're getting 100. Like, it's so exponential when all you're doing is you're thinking about this one thing. And again, I don't know about fighting. I'm not a fighter, but like I can attest to the fact that when you're singularly focused on one thing, your mind all of a sudden just starts to explode with ideas and information. It also goes back to a book. I'll stop this monologue once again, but it also goes back to a book that I just finished reading called Mind Magic. You should check it out, Justin. It's amazing, but it's about the idea of manifestation and the science behind it. But I know some people say like manifestation, that's a little woo-woo, but it talks about it from the perspective of programming your subconscious. So when we say manifestation, it feels like things are coming to you from the universe, but maybe that's not entirely what's happening. It's like you program your subconscious to focus so intently on this one particular goal. And then when you're not even thinking about it consciously, your subconscious is redirecting your focus towards that goal. And so it feels like the universe is bringing you stuff. So I imagine there's all of these different elements that are at play here with Gamrot's strategy. But I got to say, overall, this makes me highly motivated to pick Gamrot in this fight. And before we started the show, I was actually going to go Olivera just because who doesn't love Olivera? Like, I just want Olivera to win. And I was going to say, everybody's going to say he's going to get knocked out because he just got knocked out. I'm going to say Olivera by submission, but you just changed my mind. And if Gamrot's that dialed in, he's doing his thing that way, he's hungry, he's never won the belt, people thought for the longest time he was going to be the next champ, I'm going to pick Gamrot for sure. Okay, we got a couple more comments, and then I'm going to turn it back over to Justin, because Justin, I want to hear, excuse me, I want to hear. Oh, and by the way, Matthew and both Matthew and Western are both talking about the co-main on Dana White's Contender Series, so we have to check that out. But Justin, before, I know you haven't done your full breakdown yet, but what is your thought on how you think this fight's going to go?
Well, from a stylistic standpoint, Olivera obviously being one of the best lightweights of all time, but we have to look at what he's done recently. Like I said, he's 2-3 in his last 5, and people are, and it kind of bums me out being such a big Olivera fan. Although he's 2-3, we look at his losses. Ilia Topuria, arguably pound for pound greatest fighter of all time. Arman Tsarukyan, he loses a split decision to Tsarukyan. And then Islam Makhachev. All right. These guys, he's not losing to to chump change. He's not losing to guys off the Contender Series. He's losing to the best pound for pound fighters in the world, Ilia Topuria, Islam Makhachev, and then to Arman Sarukian, who's a number one contender that people think can beat Islam Makhachev or Ilia Topuria. Like these are incredible, very credible losses. And unfortunately, you know, he's taken on these tall tasks. And, you know, I really think, man, I'd like to think these losses aren't going to affect him. But Olivera, like you said, he's already been there. He's already done that. What's his motivation? You got someone like Gamrot who's making all these sacrifices. It's hard to think that he's not going to win. You know, and I'm talking about Gamrot. Like I said, he hasn't been the champ before. He could be more motivated. He's taking time away from his family, the sacrifice he's making, because, you know, Charles Olivera, he's a big family man. He wants his family around. He wants his friends around as he's prepping for training. He has an incredible team behind him. I don't see Charles Olivera mentally being able to make the sacrifices Gamrot is going to do. And I think that's going to put Gamrot on top of this matchup.
Woo. Gamrot, by the way, 34 years of age. I was just looking that up as you were finishing out your thought. I wasn't sure. I actually think Charles Olivera is younger than him. No, wait, let me double check. Charles Olivera is pretty young. He is, let me see here. He is 35. Okay. Both of these guys are pretty close.
23 and 11 in the UFC. Think about the mileage he has. He has almost as many. He has more UFC fights than I do professional bouts. That's it. Like, let's say that one more time. More fights in the UFC than I do professional bouts. And I've been a professional since 2012. This guy's been in the UFC since what, 2009? I think the same time. I'm going to look back. Geez, I have to scroll pages back. He's been in the UFC since before I was a professional fighter.
Like, yeah, his first UFC fight was in 2010.
I was in college still. I didn't even graduate college yet.
That's so wild, dude. He's been fighting for so long, and he got a submission victory. Oh my God, look how many submissions he has on his record. So nuts.
Like 21. I think he has 21.
It's so crazy. Although he hasn't gotten a submission. I mean, granted, he lost 3 of his last 5, but he hasn't gotten a submission he lost. So, but yeah, he hasn't gotten a submission since 2022. That's a very interesting stat. But that also is interesting too, because I feel like a lot of people, the game is evolving. A lot of the maybe submissions that he was able to land or pull off earlier on aren't able to connect anymore. Just like, you know, we see guillotines, people having more difficulty with guillotines as well. MMA on my mind. First time catching 10-7 live. Let's go. Welcome to the show. Matthew says 2011. Yeah, you were close. I just checked. It was 2010. How insane is that? I can't wait.
And here's sorry to cut you off, but to go back to that, he hasn't had a submission since 2012. All right. That doesn't mean he's not a good grappler.
Right.
You know, Charles Olivera he's not fighting chump change that you can just throw up a guillotine here and there or a triangle here and there. He's fighting the best in the world. Again, Ilia Topuria, world-class grappler. You know, if there's a level above world-class, that's Ilia Topuria. If there's above a level world-class, that's Islam Makhachev. If there's above a level above world-class, that's Charles Olivera. And as we get to these levels of excellence, especially from the grappling standpoint, submissions are very, very tough to come by. Right. You know, it's like when I wrestled with Jake Shields, you know, in my opinion, one of the greatest MMA grapplers of all time, we go rounds and rounds and back and forth. And sometimes we'll go 5 rounds and no submission, or he'll get me once or twice. Like, it's very, very, and I'm not a level above world class. I think I'm at the brink of a world-class athlete, of a world-class fighter, but I'm not Charles Olivera. I'm not Ilia Topuria. I'm not Islam Makhachev. I'm very, very good. I'm a black belt level guy that has been for a long time, but these guys are on a totally another level, and being able to submit this level of competitors, it's no easy task.
Well, we got a great fight tomorrow night, a great main event that is in UFC in Brazil tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Emir says Gamrot smokes Olivera. Yeah, I mean, Justin, you just made me a believer. I mean, I think most people were probably picking Gamrot. I was going to go the other way and pick Olivera. But when you told me that dedication, sleeping in the gym, I'm telling you, that means something. It really does.
I can't even fathom that. Like, living at the gym.
Dude, if I was a fighter, I would do things exactly like this. You would think I was a lunatic. I would literally do nothing but watch fight footage, live at the gym, like study. I would take notes. I would review. Because that's how, like, this is how this is my formula for getting things done, is just to be so obsessive and immersive. But you're right, it doesn't work for I think some people, the way that I carry out my life would drive people crazy, but for me it works. MMA in my mind says, how do you think Charles Oliver's chin will be after that knockout? Can I respond to this? And obviously I'm going to turn over to Justin. Justin's the actual fighter. Listen, I think that sometimes, I know you say, Justin, all the time that every time somebody gets knocked off, it's like the can of Coke is getting a little bit uncorked, so it makes it easier to get knocked out again. But didn't everybody say that about Volkanovski? He was coming back too fast. Look at the unbelievable performance he had against Diego Lopez, and he won and took, got hit a lot, and everybody's like, oh, I guess we were wrong. I'm going to lean in that direction. And I'm going to say that I don't think he now has a suspect chin. I think he's probably done the correct things to recover. He's an OG, been in the game for a long time. I don't think it's going to be a knockout. It could be some other decision victory or something, but that's my 2 cents. I think people are too quick to say, oh, his chin's done. Justin, what do you think?
Here's the thing. We go through the years, and I'm going to take an opposite position on this. I'm not saying you're wrong. You mentioned Volkanovski, and we talk about guys like Volkanovski or Justin Gaethje. But remember, in all sports, there's anomalies. All right. If we have to take 1,000 fighters and guys that have been brutally knocked out, let's look at Chuck Liddell. All right. If you flick him on the chin, he's knocked unconscious because he's taken so much damage through the years. You look at Olivera, he's been dropped so many times. And very rarely finished. That was that little twist of the bottle that you talk about. And then you get brutally knocked out, by Ilia Topuria. Not only does that, in my opinion, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not a brain surgeon, I'm not saying I'm smart. I'm not even going to say that I'm smarter than you in this sense, just because I'm a fighter. But I do think that weighs on your mind. And, and you look at my career. All right. I have been in some wars. I've been dropped maybe once or twice throughout my whole career. And then I get knocked out in my last MMA fight. Is that because of all the mileage I've put on my brain and all the mileage I've put on my body? Or was it just an ironic coincidence? Why didn't I? Because I've been hit. There's one fight where I fought at 185 as an amateur. I got hit with 2 spinning heel kicks in the fight. Boom, both on the same side. Because when people spin, and I'd hate for any of my opponents to see this part, but when people spin, my natural reaction is they're going to the body like a spinning back kick. So it's a habit of mine, and I hope, again, none of my future opponents see this. When guys turn their back to me, I immediately cover my body because I don't want to get hit in the liver. I don't want to break my ribs. So this happened as an amateur. I got kicked in the head twice at 185. I get wobbled, but then I come back and, I don't get dropped. I get wobbled. Now you move into Armisana, who I fought for Tough Enough, who, by the way, fights October 24th with me he's the main event. I'm below him. He hits me one time with a spinning back kick, and or a spinning heel kick, and I'm unconscious. I don't remember it. I fought for 3 more minutes. I don't remember anything of it. Even today, even watching the footage, it's like, holy shit, this is a superhuman going right now. This is my brain reacting. It's not even my body reacting. My brain, the lights are on, but no one's home. And this is at the end of my career. And I've taken all the proper measurements of not sparring hard and taking time off. I just think all that damage adds up. And not to mention, when you get brutally knocked out like that, again, there are anomalies, Justin Gaethje, Volkanovski, but I think that it does play a piece on your psyche. It's like, ooh, that happened before. I don't want that to happen again. And this could definitely play a piece in Charles Oliveira's head, and we'll find out.
I just want to quickly, we're about to move on to the next topic. I just want to see if Gamrot has any TKOs. I don't think I'm sure he must somewhere on his record. He's had 28 professional fights. Let me just take a look here if he's ever had any knockouts.
I got it right here.
All right. What do you see there?
He's never lost by knockout. He has 8 wins by knockout, 5 wins by submission.
Oh yeah. He does have some now. Okay. So back in 2023 was his last KO or TKO. I'm on the ESPN website, so it doesn't say exactly how it happened, but all right. Well, there you go. MMA on my mind. I hope we answered that question. Again, thank you for joining. We really appreciate it. Glad you're able to catch a show live. Now, we're going to preview another massive fight. We're going to preview more of this card next week.
Hey, I got a piece for you. I have sorry to interrupt you. Diego Pereira submission to strikes in 2021. Scott Holtzman, ground and pound, second round. Leg injury, but Fiziev, that's the last time he's done anything, was 2021.
Oh, it was a leg injury with Fiziev. That's what caused the TKO KO. Okay, so I guess we shall see how this goes down. But I am leaning towards Gamrot after Justin told me that thing about Gamrot being so dialed in and focused. I heard apparently at the ceremonial weigh-ins today, Gamrot was like going nuts on stage. I haven't watched it yet, but I was on MMA Guru's stream right before we started, and he was saying that. So I think Gamrot's amped up. But hey, MMA Holes is back, ladies and gentlemen. MMA Holes, thank you so much for stopping by. I think they had, I've checked out their YouTube channel as well. It's awesome. Welcome. All right, so let's move it along here. Oh, MGAL4 Productions gonna smash Fraudrot. Why? Wait, why do you not like Gamrot? Why do you say that? Paul Felder really smashed Charles. Yeah, way back in the day. It's amazing. Charles is back before Topuria, who smashed him. Let's go. Okay, MGAL4 Productions, thank you for joining again. Let's talk about RDR versus Brendan Allen. This is going down next week. Justin's going to do a breakdown of this as well. Obviously, we're all very disappointed that Fluffy Hernandez had to drop out of this fight. We're very much looking forward to that. What's your initial take on RDR versus Brendan Allen? RDR becoming such a household name amongst UFC fans.
Man, I'm going to be honest. You guys aren't going to like my answer to this. I don't have an opinion on this fight yet because, Brendan Allen's stepping up, and I want to take it as Brendan Allen. My initial thought is Brendan Allen stepping up. Brendan Allen is seizing the opportunity that he's getting from an unfortunate event. And, man, immediately, I just think guys that get that, and he hasn't fought in a little while. All right, Brendan Allen is a dog, obviously, but getting an opportunity like this to step in, and I don't know if I want to call it short notice, but late notice is an incredible opportunity. And guys like Brendan Allen typically can rise to the occasion because he knows this might be his only shot. And if he loses to RDR, he's going to be put back in the rankings. But then you have such a tough guy like RDR, on the other hand, that, man, it's the streak that he's been going on lately, especially transitioning to UFC, is just incredible. And unfortunately, I just don't have an opinion yet. Wait till I do my breakdown video next week. I'm really going to focus on this matchup. I'm going to break down their styles and see what I see on both sides, and I'll have a better prediction and a better window. But as of right now, this fight's a toss-up, man. And I'd like to see Brendan Allen, persevere and have an incredible go, being able to step in and fill in, because again, this is an opportunity for him. This wasn't something set up. This is an opportunity. Somebody got hurt. He's stepping up. It's an incredible opportunity. And when I get stories like that, I always want that guy that steps up and he's risking it all, coming in as a fill-in. But then you have someone like RDR who's really grown on me since moving his way to the UFC. And I don't want either of these guys to lose, man. I want this just to be a great fight.
I'm with you. I can't wait for that breakdown. Let me just give a quick correction because I know you said he hadn't fought in a while. Actually, Brendan Allen fought in February of 2025 and actually July of 2025. Had 2 fights this year. So he's been very active. Jesus
Christ, what? See, that's how far I am behind.
It's all good. His last victory was over Marvin Vettori. So we'll look for that was on the Holloway Poirier card. I don't even remember that either. I don't know why. But I'm looking forward to your breakdown, and we shall see. That's gonna be a really, really fun fight. RDR is awesome. I'm definitely rooting for RDR because I like his personality. I love his interviews. I think his style is really interesting. He's got a very, very fascinating style. I was blown away by his victory over Bo Nickel, and I mistakenly thought Bo Nickel was going to run through him, but I was totally wrong. RDR, let's go. That's my initial read, but wait for Justin's breakdown. It'll be way better. Okay, Justin made a video about this. I thought we should talk about it because everybody's been talking about it all week. We haven't had a chance to chop it up about this topic. So it came out that Conor has been suspended for 18 months by this new drug testing agency for a violation that occurred back in 2024. No surprise that somehow the suspension perfectly lines up and expires in, before the White House card. But I don't know. I got so many questions about how this drug testing agency works and the suspension and why it's announced now. And Justin, as a fighter, let me turn it over to you. This was not technically for a substance in his blood that was found that was to be in violation. This is for him skipping, basically getting tested. But obviously everybody knows and assumes, I don't even hold it against Conor, he must have been on something to help repair and expedite the healing of his leg. So I'm sure something was going on, but let me turn over to you as a fellow fighter. What were your thoughts when you heard this? How does this make you feel?
All right. So the couple of things, because you guys know I did a video of this, so I did a little bit of research on this. What's weird is Conor last year always was talking, I'm back in the testing pool. I'm back in the testing pool. Like, why is he announcing this and not getting his test taken care of. Everybody knows when you're in the UFC, including me, because I got a strike on me for missing a drug test. Now, remember, from USADA, I only can talk about USADA, but because that was the drug testing agency that was in the UFC when I was in the UFC. But this new drug test agency, I'm sure it's very similar. It's random. So meaning that they can show up at your house. They can show up at your place of work. You need to be where you say you're going to be. So for instance, when I was in the UFC, I fought, and then I was like, you know what? I did a 1 week fishing trip in Mexico. All right. There was nothing foul about it. I just was on vacation. Yeah, go ahead.
Just super quick. I want to say bye to MMA on my mind because he says, hey, got to go back to work. Next time I'll schedule lunch when y'all live. Just wanted to say what's up because I know you're new to the channel, new to the stream. Thank you so much for stopping by. We look forward to having you back. We'll be back on Mondays and Fridays, every Monday and Friday at 1:30 p.m. PST. Sorry, take it away. So you were saying your story?
Yeah. So like when I went to Mexico, I did it, and you get an app on your phone for the USADA. It was the USADA app. When you travel, wherever you go, you have to write them and let them know where you're going and how long you're going to be there. All right. I didn't tell them that just because it was a blunder. I just forgot to do it. So when I got back, I had a strike on me. You get 3 strikes, you're suspended. All right. I think it's 3 strikes in a year. All right, you get 1 year to have 3 strikes. Once that year is up, you reset your strikes. Conor McGregor had 3 strikes in like 3 months. In my video, I told you the exact dates of the dates that he missed, but I just don't understand how you could do that. Like, I missed 1. All right, that's my bad shit. I made a mistake. But if I did that again, I'd be like, man, I need to be on top of this. I'm just about to get suspended. And then he does it a 3rd time. That tells me he had substance in his body and he was just trying to avoid it. I don't know why he would put himself back in the testing pool if he had substance in, because again, I used to have USADA show up at my house, bang, bang, bang. And if you don't answer, that's a strike. If you say you're at work and you're not at work, that's a strike. So I just don't understand how he can mess this up.
So some people have theorized. I want to get your thoughts on this, and I have no idea if I don't know anything. Some people have said some different things, and I think they're probably, this has not been verified, but they say, well, this new drug testing organization, UFC essentially owns them. They tell them what to do. And this is simply a show for the public to show that, hey, they are suspending people. They are testing people, when in reality, they may not be nearly as strict or stringent as USADA was. And because this doesn't actually impact the White House card, they decided to publicize it at this time just to show, hey, we're around, but it doesn't actually change or impact anything. Do you think there's any validity to these theories, or do you think, no, they're actually for sure legit and they are probably doing things?
I agree with that theory. I could see that being, yes, I definitely could see something like that happening.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So anyways, the good news for all of the fans of the White House card and wanting to see Conor McGregor come back, me included, I'm happy because I think he should be on that White House card, whether or not he's the main event or co-main or whatever, wherever they put him. I assume he'll still be the main because he's just such a big star. Although I don't know. We're going to talk about one other possibility for the main in a second. That would be wild. That could actually, it would be for the first time ever, I would say this guy would make more sense as the main event than Conor, which I can't even believe I'm saying that. But that takes us to, you know what? I'm going to go to topic 5. We're going to jump ahead on this because Conor's the White House main event. This relates to that. Alex Pereira. Now, everybody's saying he's probably going to move up to heavyweight. And if he doesn't, the only fight that makes sense would be him versus Carlos Ulberg, which I don't mind. I actually like that fight. I like seeing 2 kickboxers go at it. I think Pereira will handle Ulberg. I may be wrong, but that's my belief. I think it'd be such a fun fight. It'd be cool. And then maybe he can move up after that. But it's either going to be that or he's going to straight up move up. And if he moves up, of course, he's going to challenge for the title. And that's the one fight, I think, across casuals, across everybody, that I think could usurp Conor's role or idea of trying to be the main event, because we would be seeing something that is never done before. We would be seeing Alex Pereira go for 3 belts, and he could walk away as heavyweight champ. I mean, how unbelievable would that be? So this brings me to the question, Justin. If Pereira moves up to heavyweight and decides to challenge the heavyweight title and decides to do it at the White House card, who would you rather see Pereira face off against? Cyril Gane or Tom Aspinall?
Oh, there's no question. It's Tom Aspinall. I don't want to
Really?
see him fight Gane. Yeah, fuck Gane, man. Gane got finished in the first round against John Jones, and beating Cyril Gane has no weight to it because, again, if he loses to Cyril Gane, God forbid he loses to Cyril Gane, now John Jones is just going to be sitting up on his high horse talking about how he's the greatest. Alex Pereira goes in there and beats Tom Aspinall. Now there's something really we can talk about. Cyril Gane, again, he's a good heavyweight, but he doesn't, like I said, he's going to have to do a lot to make up that loss to John Jones for me to, and again, I don't want to say not for me to have respect for him. I respect what he's done, but we're talking about the implications of him losing to Cyril Gane. It's just not something I want to talk about. I'm so sick of talking about John Jones. Anything that can happen in the heavyweight division that makes you and I talk about John Jones more, I just don't want it to happen. I hope Cyril Gane is successful post MMA, but man, it's really hard for me to root for him. Not because I don't like him, not because I don't like his style, but anytime Cyril Gane wins from now on, John is just going to be sitting up there, hey, let's talk about me more and talk about how I finished this guy in the first round. That's why I'm so worried about Cyril Gane winning this Aspinall fight, because again, as soon as they fight, and if they last more than the first round, the next Monday and next Friday, and then the next Monday after that, the next Friday after that, the next Monday after that, we have to talk about John Jones. And I'm just so sick of talking about John Jones. And I hope our listeners are too.
Okay, I get all of that. I get you wanting to rather see him fight Aspinall, but what happens? It's like people are just assuming Aspinall is 100% going to beat Gane. Like everybody's acting as if it's a foregone conclusion. But even Volkov, who's fought both, I think he's fought both of them, or maybe he's not fought Aspinall yet. I think he may have fought both. He himself is like, this is 50-50, man. This is a crazy fight. So then what happens? Then what? What if Gane beats Aspinall? Then you're not going to want to see Pereira fight Aspinall, right? In that case, wouldn't you want to see Pereira versus Gane?
Yeah, I would. But again, the implications of what our show is going to turn into. Why don't we just change the name right now to the John Jones 10-7 show? Like I feel like between John Jones and Conor, they're our most talked about subjects, and they don't deserve it. That's the thing that gets me. If John Jones was in there being active and continued to win, let's talk about this guy. Let's talk about all the great things he's doing, but neither him or Conor McGregor are doing anything in the sport of MMA. All they're doing is getting guys like us to talk about him. And I would rather talk about people that are deserving to be talked about and people are deserving to be hyped. And John Jones and Conor McGregor, to me, aren't deserving right now.
Okay, fair point. Maybe that's actually kind of sad when you put it that way. It is probably true. If you think about everything we talk about in cycles, yeah, these two are probably the most we talk about.
And they don't deserve it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They deserved it 5 years ago. But now,
man.
I know some people on the stream are probably going to disagree with me, but man, God, let's talk about some upcoming guys. Let's talk about this Habib cousin and that's the other thing. Well, here's the other thing with like the Russians. Everyone's Habib's cousin. This motherfucker has 17 cousins in the UFC. And it's like anybody with the last name Nagomedov or anybody that has, a Russian name is like, oh, this is Habib's cousin. It's like, motherfucker, this guy has 100 cousins. And until they do something great, I don't care to talk about them either.
Okay, fair enough. By the way, Matthew did say just as tired about hearing Conor or Jones as you are. So let's move on.
But the thing is, we have to talk about him.
Yeah.
And that's the worst part is I feel obligated that we have to. I don't like it, but we have to because that's what the news outlets are talking about.
Last question. Who would you rather see for the main event? Forget about the opponent. Who would you rather see for the main event at the White House card? Would you rather see Alex Pereira? This is crazy because I actually think this is the first time where people like I'm talking broadly, people would actually maybe rather see somebody other than Conor in the main event. Who would you rather see in the main event? Conor or Alex Pereira?
Depends who Pereira is going to fight. I'm a huge Pereira fan. But if I had to make a decision on the spot right now, Alex Pereira, strictly because he's earned it. Not only has he earned it in the cage, he's earned it with his personality out of the cage. He's developing his personality out of the cage that I really get into, and he's winning fights. like why? Like Conor McGregor is like 1-4 or 1-3 or something crazy in his last 3 or 4. He's coming back from a gruesome leg injury. He hasn't done anything in the sport in 5. He hasn't had a win in 5 years. When you have someone like Alex Pereira who's constantly stepping up, constantly facing adversity, and constantly winning, I want to see this guy do great things. I want to see him become the 3-division champion.
Heck yeah, dude! I don't even care who Alex Pereira fights. If he can go, you could put him against anybody. Let's say Aspinall and Gane simultaneously TKO each other, retire, and you have some random. I just want to see Alex Pereira get the belt. That's it. For him to be a triple champ is absolutely unbelievable, dude. Look at this for a second. I want to show you something before we move on. His record is only 13-3. Think about what we just looked at. Charles Olivera, 31-14 or something. He had like 45 fights. This guy's had 16 fights, period. And in that time has won the belt 3 separate times. Look at this. He won it. Where is it? He won it at middleweight, lost it at middleweight, came up, won it at, where did he win the title? Right here. Won it at light heavyweight. Maintained it. Why is there no little belt thingy there? Anyways,
that's a performance bonus.
Oh, that's performance bonus. Lost it and then regained it again, and all in the period. Look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Since 2003, in the last 2 years or 3 years, whatever that would be, he's had 8 fights. This guy, he's too good. So anyway,
how can you not love it? How can you not love him?
I would actually love to see Pereira get that main event and see what he can do, but we shall see how it unfolds. Very exciting times. As I mentioned, we're in a golden era right now. Okay. Speaking of fighters that are actually out there doing things and wanting to talk about them, let's talk about Mike Perry. Let's talk about this juggernaut of BKFC going in there, having a war, getting on the mic afterwards with his nose like smashed inwards as a concave shape. Okay. He goes on the mic and he goes, yeah, I just want to take this opportunity. I know I may have offended some people at this company, but I just want to take this opportunity to apologize to absolutely nobody. The King of Violence does what the King of Violence wants, and Conor's right there cracking up, laughing. Mike Perry, what a legend! What a classic. Justin, what do we want next for Mike Perry? What do you see in his future?
I want him to fight Conor McGregor more than anything. That's the fight I want. Here's the thing. In the style of fighting that Mike does, listen, we talk about anomalies. Mike Perry is an anomaly. Mike Perry has beaten UFC middleweight champion. He has beaten UFC lightweight champion. He has beaten top-level UFC contenders. Mike Perry doesn't shy away from a challenge. And eventually, unfortunately, when you're constantly in there doing this over and over and taking this kind of damage, his reign is limited until if he keeps fighting until he's eventually going to lose. He's going to. It's just inevitable. All right. I want to see him while he's still healthy. And healthy, I use that term very loosely because you see his nose, you see his hands. His hands are swollen, whether they're broken or not. His knuckles are swollen. His hands are swollen. He has a limited shelf life when it comes to bare knuckle fighting. And that's no shot at him. But like, look at, he doesn't turn away from anybody. And I personally think he smashes Conor McGregor because here's the thing. He's not getting any easy matchups. His matchups keep getting tougher. They're not getting easier. You know, Luke Rockhold, Eddie Alvarez, Jeremy Stevens. What next UFC guy are they going to pull over for him to fight? That you look at Jeremy Stevens, he has like one bare knuckle fight. He hasn't taken the damage. Oh, Julian Lane. Let's talk about let him bang Julian Lane, like a former foe of mine. We ended up fighting. I ended up having neck surgery, so I had to pull out of that fight. But Julian Lane, love him or hate him as an MMA fighter, he is an incredible bare knuckle fighter, and he's the BKFC lightweight champion. So let's look at this. Jeremy Stevenson's UFC top contender, PFL top contender. Julian Lane, BKFC lightweight champion. Eddie Alvarez, former UFC champion who beat Chad. What's his name? Help me out here.
Chad Mendes.
He beat Chad Mendes in bare knuckle. So he beat a top level UFC guy. Then he goes up to a middleweight, beats Luke Rockhold. Like, man, this guy is truly the king of violence. And the only fight that I think makes sense for him is a brawn panties night with Conor McGregor.
So we're going to look at his record real quick. But here's the thing. That fight with Conor, unfortunately, won't happen because Conor still has 2 fights on his contract. He's going to fight at the White House. That's assuming he doesn't get a new deal or renegotiate and then have an extended contract. And then he's got to take that fight and he's got to get a second fight. And if that second fight never happens, which I very well could never happen, Conor's not going to be able to fight for BKFC. So I think it's going to be a ways away. But just to recap, I mean, look at this record that you were talking about. This is crazy. So he had that Trump Michael Venom Page. You don't remember that in BKFC?
No, I do, but I'm just saying, like, these are that's somebody that I didn't mention. Wow. Like, Michael Venom Page is long. He's known for how great his counter striking is, and Mike Perry just comes forward.
Yeah,
all right. Mike Perry is the ideal opponent for Michael Page because Page can play in that long, loose stance and crack him as he comes in, but not today. That was all Mike Perry in that fight. Like, look at this. All top-level UFC contenders.
Yeah, it's crazy. 6-0.
Do you guys understand how tough Thiago Alves is?
That's so
like,
crazy.
Look at him. I mean, look Alves. Click Alves. Like, look at what this guy's done in the UFC. He's 23-15. Obviously, he's slanted up, but this guy's a scary guy. Go scroll down to the bottom when he was really good. Like, wait, go up. Sorry, that's the piece I want to see. Go up a little higher, higher, a little higher. Keep going. All the way up to where it says up a little higher. Right above, yep, one more up. Right there. 13 wins by knockout.
Oh, wow.
Like, this guy is a banger, bro.
Let me bang, bro. A la Julian Lane. Yeah, dude, Mike Perry is a special individual. His trash talking is on point. He has freak genetics, amazing mentality, personality. He's fun. Dude, he is the BKFC, honestly. He's more the BKFC than Conor McGregor even though Conor McGregor is a great mouthpiece for the BKFC. Mike Perry is what makes the fights exciting. 100%.
And you know, something that I'm watching in real time, I know that Conor and Mike go back and forth a lot at the press conference. Conor, oh, I own you this. I'm telling you this right now. I think it's all show because I know for a fact, you look at the way Conor McGregor, talks to Mike Perry. I think it's staged because I know that Conor McGregor has a lot of respect for Mike Perry. And I'm going to tell you why. When Conor McGregor came into the BKFC press conference, he went over and gave Mike Perry a hug. All right. He went up to him, slapped hands, gave him a hug, rubbed him on his head. Like, regardless of what Conor says about Mike Perry, regardless, I'm the owner and I control you. Conor McGregor has an insane amount of respect for Mike Perry, whether he claims to admit it or not. I know for a fact he does.
Okay, I'm going to disagree. I'm going to agree and disagree with you. I guarantee you what you're saying in terms of the respect is 100% right. I do not think that was staged. I don't want it to be staged. Let's not even go there. These guys are, or at least Mike Perry is as real as they come. I think they may have gotten into a heated exchange. I think Conor was trying to flex on him. I think Mike Perry fought back. I think he yelled at him, and I think he stood his ground. But I think at the end of the day, you're right. They do have respect for each other. And you have to, if you're actually going to be a calm, level-headed owner or in a position of executive control for an organization where your main cash cow is this guy Mike Perry, you have to respect him. And obviously Mike Perry has to respect Conor because he's in some position of authority. I think it's exaggerated exactly how much authority or sway he has at the organization for sure, because that's kind of Conor's MO is a bit of an exaggerator. But either way, yeah, I'm sure the respect is there. But I think the back and forth was sincere. But at the end of the day, they both recognize they bring each other value. It is what it is. What a great partnership. Let's go to the last story. One thing I wanted to touch on really quickly. Very interesting. Roger Jackson was charged and he pled not guilty. We got to come back to this, dog. It's still going on. So he came back. Another interesting piece of news. Apparently that guy who he bludgeoned and beat so badly, Psycho Stu, says that he will no longer return to pro wrestling. So Roger Jackson has basically ended Psycho Stu's desire or want or ability maybe to go back and still compete, which is a real shame. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. My take on why, if people want to know, people are, I think, shocked that he pled not guilty. My assumption is that I'm sure the prosecutor threw out a plea deal, and I'm sure it was maybe heavy. Maybe it was for 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, whatever it was, and his attorneys didn't like it. So that's probably why right now they're pleading not guilty. They're trying to, this is my guess. I don't think they want to go to trial for sure. Because, I mean, you play that video for a jury, you're going to be in major trouble. Like, I don't know what they're thinking. But I think they're trying to negotiate with the prosecutor to get a better plea deal. And I bet you the prosecutor's like, why should we negotiate with you? You're screwed if we go to trial. So there's probably going to be a little back and forth right now. almost guarantee you they will come to a plea deal. It will probably be somewhere between 3 and 6 years. I don't know, because I guess they're trying to charge him with 7. So I'm guessing it's going to be something like that. But we shall see. But that's the new update. I know people were all upset. How could he plead not guilty? It's a negotiation. That's all it is. Just like a business negotiation. This is just between the defense and the prosecutor. So there we have it, guys. There's the full show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We are on the grind, on the move, making content on the regular. Can't wait. We're going to post that video that Justin just worked on later today about Mateusz Gamrot. I think that is a really good point in terms of dialing in and being super laser focused, hyper focused. I think it's incredible. I'm picking Gamrot too after you told me that. So we shall see, ladies and gentlemen. Also, if you did like the show, make sure to click that like button. If you want to see more from the 10-7 MMA channel, make sure to click subscribe. We gained a bunch of subscribers this week, which was super cool. So all the new subs, thank you so much for joining. And just for fun, where we at right now, we are at, 2646. We are happy with that. Not bad. And just happy to do the show. Thank you guys. So, hey, Donald Gage, give us a like if you got a quick second, but we're about to sign off. Thank you so much for joining, and we will see you in the next episode. Take it easy.